This video looks at solving equations that have brackets, and really it's just one little step harder than the one that we just did, which was solving equations with variables on both sides. The only thing that's different is before you can solve the equation, you have to use distribution to expand and remove the brackets. Once you do that, you then do the exact same thing you've always done, where you put letters on the left and numbers on the right, and then you solve for the unknown. So we're going to take 4, we're going to multiply it by x, and we're going to get, whoops, no equal sign. We're going to get 4x, and then 4 times 3 is positive 12, and that's equal to negative 8. And that didn't show up very well, so let's try again. There we go. If you look at this equation, it's now very similar to ones that you've already done. And so the first thing that we need to do is we need to get rid of adding 12. How do we get rid of adding 12? We subtract 12 from both sides. And at this point, you already have your preferred way of showing that. There's a couple different ways you can show it, and it's totally up to you how you want to show it, as long as you show your work. So the left-hand side simplifies to 4x, the right-hand side simplifies to negative 20, and then you're going to divide both sides by 4, and you'll be left with x equals negative 5. And that's your answer. To check your answer, you can do a formal check. So again, remember, when you're doing a formal check, you can split it into left side and right side. In this case, there's nothing that you need to do on the right side. It's equal to negative 8. On the left side, we're going to replace the x with 5. Sorry, negative 5. So negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. And 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And again, it does not matter what the left side and right side are equal to, as long as they are equal to each other, you know your answer is correct. If they are not equal to each other, then you've made a mistake. And then you just need to do your conclusion that says left side equals right side. Therefore, x must be equal to negative 5. So let's look at a second example that's a little bit more complicated. When you're looking at this example, the first thing that you might want to do is make that negative 1x plus 3. That's totally up to you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to distribute. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. Negative 1 times x is negative x, or if you prefer, negative 1x. Negative 1 times 3, be careful of your sign, it's negative 3. 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. What you're going to do next is you're going to simplify. So we're going to look at each side and we're going to simplify it. So 6x minus x becomes 5x, and negative 18 minus 3 becomes negative 21. And the right-hand side was already simplified. Now remember, we want our letters on the left and our numbers on the right. So to get rid of subtracting 21, we are going to end up adding 21 to both sides. And on this side, remember, it cancels. And to get rid of positive 2x, we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. And remember, on this side it cancels. If you prefer, you can show that in the other way. Again, it doesn't matter how you show your work as long as you show your work. And there's a couple of different options that you have. Once we've moved our letters to the left and our numbers to the right, we can now simplify. 5x minus 2x is 3x. Negative 6 plus 21 is 15. We're going to divide both sides by what's with the letter, and we'll end up with x equals 5. If you wanted to, you could do a little bit of an informal check and just substitute that in and figure out what each thing is going to be equal to. So for example, you could think, well, 2 times 5 is 10, 10 minus 6 is 4, 3 times 4, so that part will become 12. Then you can think, well, 5 plus 3 is 8, and negative 1 times that, so that side will become 12 minus 8. On this side, you'll have 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then check, does 12 minus 8 equal 4? Yes, it does, so you know you're correct. So you don't always need to do a formal check, but you should get into the habit of substituting your answer in. That way you know if you're right or wrong. And in theory, when you write a quiz or a test with solving equations, you should know if you got it perfectly because you can check every answer.